I want you to close your eyes for a second. Imagine you're walking into the New York Public Library. You know, the big one with the lions out front. But it's not the library you remember. You walk inside, and the lights are off. It's pitch black. There isn't a single human being in sight. No students, no tourists, no librarians.
Yeah.
But it is deafeningly loud.
Loud? How do you mean like construction loud?
More. Mechanical loud. The aisles are absolutely packed, just shoulder to shoulder with these high-speed robots.
Wow.
They are ripping books off the shelves, scanning them in milliseconds, shoving them back, and they're just sprinting to the next aisle. The air is actually hot because their motors are running so hard.
Okay.
And this library is technically the busiest it has ever been in its entire history, but no human has stepped foot inside for weeks.
That is a really visceral and honestly a slightly terrifying image. But knowing what we're about to discuss today, that's not really a metaphor, is it?
No, it is not. That is the internet of early 2026. While we're all busy living our lives over the last, 12 months, the digital world went through a quiet, invisible, but absolutely massive, hostile takeover.
It really, really did. I think we're going to be looking back at 2025 as the year the dead internet theory stopped being a fringe conspiracy and started looking more like a quarterly earnings report.
Exactly. And we have the receipts. We're doing a deep dive today into a brand new report from a company called Tollbit.
Right.
The report is titled, AI Bot Traffic to Websites is Rising Rapidly. It could change the nature of the web.
Wow.
And honestly, change the nature feels like they're being polite.
Oh, that's a definite understatement. This report is basically an autopsy of the old web.
So our mission today is to unpack this explosion of AI bot traffic. We're going to look at the numbers, which are just mind-blowing. But we also need to figure out exactly who these bots are, because they are not all the same.
Not at all.
And finally, we need to explain why this shift is creating an existential economic crisis for, well, basically every website on Earth.
Yeah. If you own a website, or really if you even just read websites, this affects you.
So let's set the scene. Take us back to the ancient history of January 2025.
Okay, right. Picture the web in early 2025. I mean, AI was certainly around, ChatGPT was popular, Claude was popular, but if you looked at the actual traffic flowing through the fiber optic cables, the clicks, it was still mostly us, humans.
Right, we were the ones surfing, reading articles, buying shoes.
We were the residents, the bots were just visitors.
Exactly.
But Tollbit, they track web scraping activity, which is basically bots visiting websites to extract data. And when they plotted the data for 2025, the curves didn't look like a gentle slope, it looked like a hockey stick.
Okay, so give us the statistic. How big was the jump?
So in the first quarter of 2025, AI bots accounted for about 0.5% of all web traffic. 0.5%.
0.5%, so background noise. You wouldn't even notice it on a server log.
You wouldn't. That's the baseline. By the fourth quarter, so less than 12 months later, that number hit 2%.
Okay, I'm going to pause you there.
Yeah.
Because I can physically feel the listener rolling their eyes right now. They're thinking, you guys are hyping this up. 2%, that's a rounding error. That's nothing.
I know. And in almost any other context, 2% is tiny. If I told you your rent went up 2%, you'd be popping champagne.
Right.
But you have to look at the context of global web infrastructure. We are talking about billions and billions of hits. So going from 0.5% to 2% is a fourfold increase in less than a year. Nothing in tech scales that fast unless it's exploding.
So it's the velocity of the change that really matters.
It's the velocity and, I think, the ratio. The report breaks it down by visits, which paints a much clearer picture.
Walk us through that.
Okay. At the start of 2025, for every 200 human visits to a website, there was roughly one AI bot visit.
1 to 200.
1 to 200. So let's use a coffee shop analogy. I'm in a cafe. For every 200 paying customers buying a latte, one weird guy comes in, takes a photo of the menu, and leaves.
Okay, you ignore him. He's annoying, but he's not disrupting the business.
Exactly. But by the end of the year, that ratio tightened to one AI bot for every 31 humans.
Wow. Okay, that feels different. Now, every time the line moves, there's a robot standing there.
Precisely. And in our coffee shop, that robot isn't buying a coffee. It's measuring the cups. It's recording conversations. It's scanning the newspaper on the counter. And then it walks out without spending a dime.
And here is the part that really got me in the report. Tollbit explicitly says these numbers, the 2%, the 1 in 31, are likely the floor, not the ceiling.
Because the bots are hiding.
Right. They're not wearing I am a robot name tags.
No. The technology behind these scrapers has become incredibly sophisticated. Tollbit ran tests where they found many of these scrapers are now, and this is a quote, indistinguishable from human visitors.
Oh.
They mimic our mouse movements, they'll pause to read headlines, they use browser headers that look just like a generic Chrome user.
So the detection software looks at them and says, oh, that's just Dave from Ohio. But it's actually a server farm in California.
Exactly. So the real number of bots could be significantly higher than 2%. We are essentially at a masquerade ball where half the guests are robots wearing human masks, and the bouncers can't tell the difference anymore.
That is a terrifying thought. But I want to pivot to the what. What are they actually doing? But I think most people hear bot, and they think of the old school Google crawler, right? The one that just indexes a page.
Like good bots.
Yeah, but this new breed is different. The report draws a really sharp line between two types of AI bots. You've got training bots and RAG bots. I feel like understanding this distinction is the key to this whole thing.
It absolutely is. If you don't get the difference, you can't understand why the web is breaking.
Okay, so let's unpack training bots first. These are the ones we're used to hearing about with the big lawsuits, right?
Yeah, think of a training bot as like a student cramming for a PhD. Its job is to go out, read the entire internet, Wikipedia, Reddit, the New York Times, your blog, and bring that data back to a huge server farm to train a model like GPT-5.
So it wants to learn everything so it can understand language and facts.
Yes. It reads the library once, memorizes it, and then it's largely done, for a while at least.
It needs updates, but it doesn't need to read the same book every 5 minutes.
Exactly. And the data actually backs this up. Tollbit found that traffic from training bots actually slowed down last year. Their growth rate dropped by about 15% between Q2 and Q4.
So the student has done the reading, they're full.
Or they're just getting more efficient. But then you have the second type, the RAG bots.
RAG.
RAG.
Retrieval Augmented Generation.
That sounds like a military operation.
Well, it sort of acts like one. This is the game changer.
Break this down for us. Explain it like I'm 5. What is a RAG bot?
Okay. Imagine you ask an AI, what is the stock price of Apple right now?
Right, something current.
Or what did the president say in the speech this morning?
The AI's training its memory. That ended months ago. It doesn't know. So it deploys a RAG bot.
It's the runner.
The runner. The personal shopper. The RAG bot sprints out to the live internet, scrapes 3 or 4 news sites, grabs the specific answer you need right now, runs back, and whispers it to the AI. The AI then types it out for you.
So it's not relying on memory, it's looking it up live.
Every single time. And that is why the traffic is exploding. The average quarterly growth for RAG bots jumped 33% at the end of 2025.
33%. Wow.
We went from about 3.3 million scrapes to nearly 6 million in a blink.
And I noticed in the report that these RAG bots they're heavy users. They aren't just popping in for one page.
No, they are voracious. A training bot might grab a page and move on, but a RAG bot, to answer a complex question, might need to cross-reference 10 different sources instantly. Tollbit found that a single RAG bot scrapes roughly 10 times as many pages per visit as a training bot.
So if I ask, what are the reviews for this new restaurant? The bot isn't just looking at one site. It's hitting Yelp, TripAdvisor, Google reviews.
And a local food blog all at the same time, and it's hitting them hard.
Okay, name and shame time. Who is sending these things? Do we know who the biggest culprit is?
We do. The report names names. The undisputed king of scrapers is OpenAI.
OpenAI.
Specifically, a bot with the user agent string ChatGPT user.
ChatGPT user. Very creative.
Subtle, right. But it's the biggest offender by a landslide. It scrapes 5 times as many pages as the next highest company, which is Meta.
5 times.
So when we talk about this surge, a huge portion of it is driven by OpenAI's systems trying to fetch live answers for users like you and me.
Okay, so we have this flood of RAG bots just tearing through websites.
Yeah.
But how are they behaving? Because the internet has rules. We've had them for decades.
The rules of the road, yeah.
Right, the robots.txt file. If I own a website, I can put up that file, and that's supposed to be the do not enter sign for bots.
That's the theory. Robots.txt is the polite request. It tells a bot, hey, look at the homepage, but stay out of the archives. Google respects it. Bing respects it.
But the RAG bots,
they are blowing right past it. This is the Wild West aspect the report highlights. These bots are bypassing firewalls. They are rotating IP addresses to look like regular people so they don't get blocked.
and they're ignoring robots.txt completely.
Completely. They're effectively breaking and entering in a digital sense. They are grabbing the data regardless of what the website owner wants.
Is that even legal?
That is the billion-dollar question that's winding its way through the courts right now.
With the New York Times and others.
Exactly. Publishers are suing, saying you are stealing our property. But Tollbit makes a really important point here about the now. There is no enforcement mechanism.
Right. It's not like there's an internet police force I can call when a bot scrapes my blog.
No. The whole system relied on goodwill. It relied on engineers agreeing to play nice. But now there is so much money at stake, trillions in the AI race, that goodwill has just evaporated.
So they need the data to survive, so they take it.
They take it. And the rights holders, the people actually writing the articles and taking the photos, they lack effective means to protect their IP. It's a smash and grab.
And while the bots are smashing and grabbing, the humans are. Well, they're leaving.
This is the other side of the coin, the human retreat.
Yeah, the report had some pretty stark numbers on this that I think explain why the web just feels so different lately.
It explains the ghost town feeling, for sure. If we look at data from SimilarWeb, traffic to the top 1,000 websites has been dropping for years. In 2021, those sites had about 310 billion monthly visits.
Okay.
By 2025, it was down to 297.8 billion.
Billions of visits just gone, vaporized.
And Tollbit's own data confirmed it. Just from the third quarter to the fourth quarter of 2025, they saw another 5% drop in human visitors.
So where are we all going? If we aren't visiting websites, what are we doing?
We're outsourcing the surfing. We're asking the bots to do it for us.
Which brings us back to those Pew Research numbers.
Right. By September 2025, 62% of U.S. adults were using AI weekly. But look at the younger demographic, adults under 30. 1/3 of them interact with AI several times a day.
I am definitely in that category. It's just easier.
Well, think about the behavior. Let's say you want a recipe for lasagna the old way. You search Google. You click 3 links, you close 5 pop-up ads, you scroll past a 2,000-word story about the author's grandmother in Tuscany.
Oh, the dreaded backstory.
Exactly. Finally, you find the ingredients. Takes 5 minutes. The new way.
You open your AI app, you say, give me a lasagna recipe.
And it gives you the ingredients instantly. You never leave the app. Convenience wins.
Every single time.
But that behavior leads to the statistic that I think should worry every single website owner on the planet, the zero-click phenomenon.
The click-through rate?
The click-through rate from AI apps. So, sometimes the AI gives you a little citation link at the bottom, a learn more button.
Right.
In Q2 of 2025, the click-through rate on those links was 0.8%, which is already tiny.
That's dismal.
By the end of the year, it collapsed to 0.27%.
0.27%. So practically zero.
Basically, nobody clicks. The REG bots retrieve the information, they synthesize it, they give it to you, you get the answer, you close the app, you never visit the website that actually created the information.
The bot consumes the content so you don't have to.
Right, which is efficient for you, the user.
Yeah.
But for the website, it's fatal. They get the bot traffic, which costs them money and server bandwidth, but they get 0 human eyeballs.
Which means 0 ad revenue.
Yeah.
0 subscriptions. 0 email signups.
It's a parasitic relationship. The bot feeds, the host starves.
And there's another layer to this retreat, isn't there? The report mentioned something I found pretty bizarre, that the bots have their own social media now.
Yeah, they have their own social media site to talk amongst themselves.
Wait, what? The bots have a social network. What are they talking about? 010011.
It's API calls. While we're pulling back from the web, the bots are building their own infrastructure. They're communicating, verifying tokens, exchanging data. It just reinforces this idea of the internet becoming a ghost town for humans, but a bustling metropolis for AI.
It's like we built a city, moved out, and the appliances started throwing a party.
That's a great way to put it.
But there's a trust issue here too, right? If I'm not clicking the link, if I'm part of that 99.7%, I am trusting the bot completely.
That is the danger. We aren't fact-checking. We're letting the bot interpret the web for us. If the bot hallucinates or misinterprets a nuance or scrapes outdated info, you'll never know because you never check the source.
So we are becoming less informed source readers and more dependent on the synthesizer.
We are trading verification for convenience.
So let's zoom out. What does this all mean for the big picture? Let's just recap the state of the web as we stand here in 2026.
Okay. We are witnessing a fundamental transition. The internet was built as a human browsing ecosystem. It is rapidly becoming an infrastructure where bots browse on our behalf.
In less than a year, we moved from that ratio of 1 bot per 200 humans to 1 in 31.
And the trend lines are only pointing one way.
The bots are getting smarter, faster, and more aggressive. They're ignoring the do not enter signs, and they're doing it because we are asking them to. We want the answers without the surfing.
Which brings us to the real implication of that ghost town. Humans talk to bots, bots talk to websites, and sometimes bots talk to other bots. The direct connection between a human creator and a human consumer is being severed by this middle layer of AI.
It feels like we broke the contract. The old deal was, I write this article, you read it, and in exchange, you see an ad that pays for my lunch.
And that contract is null and void if the user reading the article is a rag bot that scrapes the text and ignores the ad.
Which leaves us with a massive, scary question. It's the Ouroboros problem, right?
Right.
The snake eating its own tail.
It is. And this is the thought I want to leave with you, the listener. We've seen the click-through rate collapse to 0.27%. The economic model of the web relies on humans visiting pages to see ads or to subscribe.
Without that, the lights go out.
So if the new users are bots that never click, never pay, and never see an ad, how does the web survive financially?
It doesn't.
Exactly. And if the bots starve the websites they scrape from, causing those websites to shut down, where exactly will the bots get their information next year?
They're eating their own food supply.
They are. And we haven't figured out how to restock the shelves yet. If the human creators stop creating because they can't get paid, the bots will have nothing left to learn from.
That is a terrifying thought.
Yeah.
We might be optimizing the web to death.
It's a definite possibility.
Something to think about the next time you ask an AI for a quick summary instead of clicking the link. Maybe click the link once in a while, just to keep the lights on.
Pay for the lunch.
Exactly. That's all for today's deep dive into the bot takeover. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.